So, okay, right.
Mhm.
Let me land, yeah?
Okay.
No, okay.
There's this woman on the internet, yeah? She has, she's gone a bit viral because she is saying that her daughter cannot go to Disneyland, right?
Mhm.
Because she has several children, 6 children, 4 baby fathers.
Yes, I am the mother who is not allowing her daughter to go to Disneyland unless her father's side of the family takes the rest of the kids. I have 6 kids total, 4 different fathers, okay? My daughter was invited to Disneyland by her father's side of the family. Now, her father was once the rest of the kids' stepfather, okay? These kids called him dad at one point in their life. He invited my daughter to go to Disneyland. I told him, you are taking the other 5 kids or she is not going. There's no possible way I am going to allow one of my children to go to Disneyland. Could you imagine being 10 years old, seeing your sister pack to go to Disneyland and the rest of the kids can't go? Just because I made poor choices, I am not going to punish my children for those poor choices. You can hate on me. It don't matter to me. My daughter is not going to Disneyland unless her father takes the rest of the kids. Period.
I'm saying, I understand. But people are saying, that's crazy. What do you guys think?
You don't lost your mind. That is nuts.
Seriously?
That's nuts.
Why?
She's mad.
You think?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because how
Tell
can
me
you
why.
expect him to
Mhm.
pay for 5 children that are not his, and then you're going to punish the child that is his by not allowing her to
That's
go?
the point.
That is real fucked
Okay,
up.
okay. One extra detail
Yeah.
is that the children have previously all called him dad. So he's performed stepfather role duties to all of the other children.
That's the clincher for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the clincher for me. The fact that they had called him dad
Mm-hmm.
means that they are effectively being punished now for that relationship ending.
Right.
And the rejection that they will feel. So there's this man that they've been calling dad. Suddenly, I ain't your dad anymore. She's my girl and we're going to Disneyland. No, the mother's going to have to deal with that. Deal with the fallout from that. So I absolutely get it. And yeah, I feel bad for that little girl. But the mother would have to deal with all the other kids' disappointment and rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And he shouldn't be doing that, quite frankly.
I think you guys are fast on this, you know.
Yeah, because go on.
Yes,
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair on the little girl who that's her dad. And I understand this is why I think a step parent, if you are gonna occupy that role as dad, mum, you've got to do it properly. But I understand going to Disneyland and taking 5 other children that aren't yours is a bit much. Maybe a compromise is 50-50. I'm going to pay 50%. That's too many children.
I know,
it's a lot of...
It is a lot of children. And I'm not saying that even that I think he should take them all. But why would you let those children call you dad?
Yeah,
If you were then going to go, we turn that off now.
Right.
Don't love you anymore.
But
I can't be doing that to these kids.
I think we need to know the circumstances of how they broke up, how long they were calling him dad. Was he even introduced to the family a bit earlier than he should have been? Regardless of all of that, I do think it's a lot to then, every time he wants time with his biological daughter, he then has to consider his 5 non-biological children. And I think there's also an element of children having to understand the world that they live in. Relationships don't last. That wasn't your father. I think they need to understand life is real, life is harsh. And they shouldn't be put in a position where they even feel this difference, because if their mum and stepdad have split up, it's like, I don't know, when he has visitation, does he take all of them when he has visitation, all that type of stuff? It's going to be times
we
when...
could presume no.
Yeah, so then why now? Because he's going on holiday, and it's not just him. Apparently it was his extended family as well, his side of the family. I just don't think that they need to go. I think if they're done, and that's it. If he's still coming around as dad, that's a different scenario, I think.
How do we know that the 5 other children don't call the 3 other dads dad? How do we know?
That may be a
How
pattern.
do we know when he came into the picture, how many children prior were there? How do we know? How do we know any of this stuff? Why doesn't she ask the other children's dads? Why doesn't she say, this one wants to take this one to Disneyland, they've got a great relationship, why don't you lot dip into your pocket? Why doesn't she do something like that? Rather than just outright, if he doesn't pay, then this one doesn't go. I don't think she's compromising.
Because it was like a foolish thing for him to even suggest it, I think. Yeah, I think it
wants to take his child away.
Yeah.
With his family.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? Yeah, my dad was a step parent. Yeah. There's no way, like, there was just like, I can't speak to my stepmom, but my dad, yeah, being a step parent, all of us together all the time.
But your
Within the
dad,
household.
They were married,
your dad was in a household with those children.
But even before that happened, all of us together. Do you know what I mean? So I saw the relationship before he married my stepmom. Do you know what I mean? And he
but
he was coming around us.
That's what I think is the difference. Now, let's say there's a separation, and then your dad goes with you, and then those stepchildren are there. He's gone about his business, innit? Because they've separated. I don't think it's fair that the once stepdad, who's now not in a relationship with you, has to still look after your kids.
My stepdad, when he left, it was gone.
How did you feel about that?
Yeah.
He was gone. Like, I had to get on with it because he's not my dad anymore.
No, but you were sad.
But you were
For a
sad.
second.
No, more than a second.
No, but I'm just saying. No,
not just for the purpose of
No.
the conversation.
No. I mean, like, obviously, there's going to be my mum and stepdad have broken up, so he's no longer coming around. My family unit, that was a family unit, disappeared because one of his daughters that lived with us, she left as well
With him,
but she was old enough. She kind of went. I think she went on her own. So that relationship naturally broke apart. So there was no. It was a sad loss because as a child you're going to miss that entity, but he had no obligation to me.
Imagine now they did have a child, like you did have a sibling
with my
Yeah,
and so
your mum had a child
with
my stepdad.
with your stepdad,
and then he is now. So you've known him as dad for a minute.
We're going to Fort Park,
and then he's like, "No, I'm only taking Ebony. Let's call her Ebony.
Okay, where then?
I'm only taking Ebony.
We'll take Ebony to Ghana.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
big
and
okay.
with all of the family that you knew. And you can't come because
you're not my biological daughter. You're going to feel away.
I'm going to feel away. It depends on the nature of their relationship. If he's not coming around as dad anymore and he's not my dad anymore, it'll be hard on... Yeah, sure, I'm going to be like, oh, but where's my dad? Because where the hell was he?
Okay.
And all that type of stuff. And then it's like, that's not his responsibility. And we can't hold them to the fire. He came in, hopefully with good intentions, to be a family unit. It didn't work out. Unless there's some legal contract binding me to him, he doesn't actually owe me anything.
And also, I blame the mum. Hold on one second. I blame the mum as well for this. Why are you allowing this man to call... Why are you allowing your children, all 5 other children, to call this man dad in the first place? Why are you allowing...
He was in the household.
It doesn't matter.
He wanted to...
Your dad is your dad and your stepdad is your stepdad.
Maybe he...
Not necessarily. I mean, if they have a relationship, if he is taking the role of dad and treating them in a way that dads treat you, then it doesn't... I think what we do is we kind of foster this environment where it's okay for people to come and go. You know, you just drop, you take the weight, you take the responsibility of the family for a moment, and then you drop it like a stone. We need to get beyond thinking that's okay.
No, that's not.
Now, I'm not saying that he should pay for all those children. And I think the idea of the other dads, if they're still around, chipping in, but there's something fundamentally wrong if they've been calling him dad, unless they were kind of, because either you're forced to call someone dad when you don't want to. That's not good, right? If you're willingly calling someone dad, it's because they're doing dad things. Because you think they're around, like dad's around, whatever that means in your house. for that person to suddenly go, right, that all stops now. I don't think we should get comfortable with that. I know it happens.
I think it's
but
about...
I don't think we should get
And I
comfortable
think it
with
depends on the age of the children in terms of how it's going to impact them as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's all well and good. If you're a teenager, say you're 15, then you can rationalize and understand what's actually happening and understand, okay, mummy's not with my dad anymore, or who I thought was my dad or my second dad anymore. And, you know, I understand that. But if you're 4, you're not understanding.
We don't know how old they are.
No, I'm not saying we do, but I'm saying, like, if they're young children, then this has a serious impact.
Yeah. I just don't like the idea of that father not being able to spend time and have memories with his child without having to take everybody. You know, there may be trips that he can do with the rest of the 5 children. Maybe he can go, I don't know, somewhere local with them. Go to the fun fair with them.
Yeah.
Or maybe he does go to the fun fair with them. But because he's having a family trip with his family, I get why he might want to bring his child.
And that's also,
I don't think he should be penalised.
And that's also putting 5 other children in the hands of a family. Like, that's responsibility for 5 children that are nothing to do with the family as well. That's an extra load of children to manage in another country. That's a lot of responsibility.
And I hear that. And maybe
are they in America? Oh, okay,
sort of saying, but maybe she knows that was never going to be possible. So maybe her point is simply, I just don't want to have to deal with the mess from that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a mess.
I think that is where she's...
Yeah, I get it. But it shouldn't be a mess. I think
it is going to be a mess.
I mean, it is.
I don't even think it's a shouldn't or... It is going to be a mess. And we can say she has created this when you have so many kids and there are all these fathers as well. I think there is going to be a fallout. And if somebody else comes in and they take on the responsibility, you need to know if that relationship doesn't work, they're going to bounce. And I think generally that is how humans are. So I understand her saying, like, no, you take all of them or none. But I think for the daughter that could have had that family trip, it's out of order.
So.
I can't see round that.
And this is why they say, like, when you're going into these relationships, when someone's got to be at what stage of her kiddom he came in, but be careful about joining families that are already, you know, semi-built. You've got to have your wits about you. And I know it's sometimes hard to... We hope that he didn't go in thinking, oh, this is a fly-by-night relationship. Maybe he went in with all good intention. They didn't intend to break up, but you've got to be extra careful and vigilant about when you're getting into these spaces.
But if you are letting kids call you dad, be dad.
Be dad.
Yeah, I hear that.
You can't use that title willy-nilly. Then you have to be dad.
Given that title to people.
She should, also.
No.
Well, I mean, we can't assume that she did.
Yeah, but we're saying both ways though. We're saying either the dad or either the man or the woman, whoever it is, don't take the title willy-nilly. Don't give the title willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Welcome to your Aunties Could Never. I'm Auntie AK, the auntie of all aunties, and I'm here with...
I'm Farah, your resident Caribbean queen.
I'm Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And I'm all things sugar and Shay Sade.
Hey! And we are joined today by the wonderfully lovely, iconic actress with the best dimples, Miss Rakie Ayola.
Hello.
Welcome.
Lovely to be here.
Thank you for coming.
This is so cozy.
Thank you for coming. We're going to be getting to Rakie's business very soon. But first, we have some announcements. First of all, you must
boop the like button, boop the like button, boop the like button, boop the like button.
Do it now.
Boop it now. Also, please, if you want more aunties, you've got to do one important thing.
You need to sign up for our membership. We have 2 tiers. The first tier to be our friend is £1.99. The next tier, which is to be our family and get involved in family things and have access to family content, is £4.99 and it's cheaper than a bag of chips. Yes.
Right, darling. And if you're listening on the podcast airwaves, we expect a special thing. Sade?
Please leave us comments, first of all, and get involved in the conversation. We really need you to do that. And also leave us reviews. No.
Yes, please.
Stars.
Yes. 5 of them.
5 of them.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Otherwise, we will.
Return to sender.
Lightning strike.
All over the place.
Also, guys, just a reminder that we are just your aunties, your favourite aunties at that, but we're just sharing our opinions. We're not experts. If you want experts, go to Google. This is what it is. Don't blame us. Don't come for us. Thank you, please. Also, before we get into it, there's a very special moment. Today is Archie Sade's birthday.
birthday to ya. Go shorty, it's your birthday.
to ya.
Go shorty, it's your birthday. 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 It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
I do
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your
It wasn't
birthday.
offensive at all. Yeah. Thanks.
We hope not.
Would you like another one?
No, thank you. But that was nice.
Do you not want to respond?
No. I'll
If we
I'll
do,
just say-
like-
No.
I would.
Oh. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
It's actually nice. Thank you, guys.
You're looking gorgeously glowing on your birthday.
Yeah, shit.
All right, love.
How you
Could
doing
you get a
today?
swish of the curtain?
Oh, yeah, I can do
There you
it.
go.
You slow it down. Like, so
Good
but
stuff.
yeah, birthday lurk and that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. You did it, girl.
Birthday
Yeah.
next.
Oh, not birthday. Birthday nose tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Lovely.
Birthday girl. All right, back to
Guys.
serious things now. We're going to bring the mood back to normal. Enemies of progress. There's lots out there and we need to protect you from them all. My first enemy of progress is, well, you guys tell me, who's the enemy? Is it Ayesha Howard, those calling her out, or basketball player Anthony Edwards? Let me get into it.
That
So
there are just certain allegations that I will never, ever beat with you guys. I came into this situation with the status because I have a child by a very successful artist, right? From then, I'm viewed as a certain type of woman because I'm beautiful and I have a nice body. And normally women like that attract a certain caliber of men, which is also not my fault. And now that I am in yet another situation where I now have a child with another successful man, there's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. You guys, it's no beating those allegations at all. The only thing that irritates me is I read comments that say, oh, you're a gold digger or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with to the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you? Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for a couple extra $100 in food stamps, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for an extra Section 8 voucher. Is that why you kept your baby? Now, if that was triggering, that's how I feel every time somebody says, do you even love that baby? You kept that baby for a check.
Not a gold digger. Now, basically, Ayesha is 38 years old and she's an Atlanta-based influencer and former dancer known online as Little Miss Golden. She had a son with rapper Lil Baby and a daughter with Anthony Edwards, who is 23 years old. In late 2024, Anthony filed a paternity and child support case in Georgia, while Ayesha filed separately in California, where she lives. She denied reports that she's received over $1 million in advance payments from Anthony and rejected claims she had relocated for legal advantage. Basically, Ayesha also said that when they were going dilly-dallying, Anthony sent text saying he didn't want the pregnancy, he's not ready to be a father, he doesn't want to be a father, wants nothing to do with being a father, but she went on and had the child. She's been consistently called a gold digger, a bit of a cougar, and all that type of stuff. Who's at fault? Ayesha, Anthony, or the internet for cussing her and calling her a gold digger?
Who's at fault? So Ayesha or Anthony
Or the
for
internet.
not wanting a child
Well,
and
yeah.
paying all the internet for saying she's a gold digger
And Anthony's got multiple kids, I believe.
by 23.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Um,
How old's their kid?
I
Not
think it's
long
just a
born.
baby.
Just a baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
she
even
just
one,
had the
yeah.
baby.
And he's 23 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't blame her, but it's not cool. Like, seriously, it's actually not cool because in this day and age, well, the world that we're in at the moment, yeah, like, especially in the US, how much did they lose off their stock market? Was it like 7 trillion or something recently?
Yeah.
People need to find ways to make sure they have enough money to feed their daughters and their sons. Do you know what I mean? So I understand going down that route if that's what they want to do. So I don't want to completely hate on it. However, the age gap is sending me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely sending me. It's predatory behavior. I don't like that at all. However, as well, these are just all the things. The guy, what's his name again?
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony paying $1 million now.
He hasn't. Apparently, allegedly, that's not true.
He hasn't paid it.
She
I
says
think
that
he is. That's what he wants to do.
That's what he wants
she
to
has
do.
not received.
I think that is a little bit sneaky. It's a little bit crafty because $1 million today is not necessarily the same value as $1 million in 18 years, right? So I'm assuming that the amount will lose value over time. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like you're trying to squirm your way out of paying what you should pay. Like, I don't know. I don't like that.
He's also given Ayesha sole custody. The daughter will be a fatherless child.
I wonder what the story is. You said that he had other children.
He's allegedly got 2 other children.
I wonder if their mothers have sole custody. So you got this young man who is populating the world and saying, I don't want anything to do with that child. So immediately, like that, the alarm bells are ringing for me. I'm confused by that because you could just not have any more children. You could just not, you know.
Yeah.
So you're happy for it to possibly happen, and then you say you want nothing to do with it. So I'm, you know, have we got a young man here who will just go through life populating the world and having nothing to do with the children? So that's the first, like, what is that? What's going on there?
Elon Musk, that's what that is.
He has got a girlfriend called Shannon Jackson who's been dating him since 2020, and they have a daughter, and she's taken to internet to say,
yes, that child is in his life.
Yeah.
Right.
And that family, he's created like a family unit with her.
Right.
But I think it may be 2 other children.
Yeah, allegedly. There's
that
2
he's
others.
had outside of that relationship that he's like, if you guys have the kid, I don't want anything to do with it.
So is he doing it for the woman that he's with then? Is he like showing this as a declaration of love or something? Like, I'm with you, so I'm not going to even be with that child over there.
Probably.
Sure.
But I had sex with their
Outside
mother.
the relationship.
Don't worry about that. I'm with you.
I'm all about you.
And don't worry about the damage that this is going to do to the child that we have as a unit because they're not going to grow up with their siblings and they're going to have resentment. Don't worry about that. It's fine. And don't worry about the other women who are to come, who I have children with.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them. It's fine.
And her
He needs to
crying
be
on the
castrated.
internet.
They should be able to castrate people.
People
sometimes.
really live
Telling
in
you,
the
man.
present.
If he won't do it on his own voluntarily, they need to chop that thing off because he's going around populating, making babies and not being responsible for them. That is not right. He's basically making all of these poor children grow up with insecurities and a bunch of other problems because he's not present. If you don't want to have any more children, don't fuck without condoms.
I'm with
Sorry.
you know, I'm with you there,
Annoying.
absolutely, because I think people live in the present, you know, and somewhere down the line, these kids are going to be like, I think your dad is my dad.
Yeah.
I think my dad is your dad. Shall we discuss? Do you know what I mean? And there'll be books written. And do you know, and
Absolutely.
people don't see that. These children will grow up and they will have an opinion.
Absolutely.
And they will have stories to tell.
Those children could have children and those children could end up getting together because they have no idea about their history. It's dangerous.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
I was just looking. So he got another girl pregnant in 2023 and she released all the texts where he said, I will pay you $100K to have an abortion. Now, I haven't been able to see if she did or not, but she released it all and he responded back, I'm trying to handle my business in-house, so I'm not giving any comment. He is still with the girl that he's with. He's still with his girlfriend at
he's still with
moment
her
in time. So this is situation number 2. I
That
do
we
think
know
there,
of.
there do needs to be penalties for men
I'm
that do
telling you.
this, like
But-
over and over
okay, but
again.
not-
I don't know how you
not-
can
All right, no,
penalise them.
right, no
There needs to be,
castration,
like,
sterilisation. Then
No,
there needs to be-
let's make it a bit lighter.
No, there needs to be some accountability
It
held. I don't know.
really does.
It's crazy, but that environment, being a NBA star, he's a brilliant basketball player, an NBA star. I know it's like you're at the height of fame, you're young, you're virile, you're all this stuff, but then don't settle down and wear a condom. And this young girl, and also it's not to put the blame on the Shannon who's staying with him, but also why? Sometimes it also is normalised.
She.
I know, but
Again,
it's
in this
it's
climate.
just, but that's
You
what
think I'm
this
leaving
whole,
you.
but this whole
I'm not
environment.
leaving you in this climate.
This whole environment, all of this that we're talking about, him to take accountability, the woman that's staying with him is normalising it, and
We
we
don't
still
know
haven't gone
that.
back to.
I don't want to put blame on her.
It's not about blame. It's about
I know, but
reality.
we don't
though.
know. I mean,
He's
if,
had 2
if
kids
he's
out on her.
23, if he is 23,
Mm.
we don't know how old she is as well. And, you know, we all know that we can be in a relationship and it can be hurtful and you can be told, I won't do it again and all
I
this
hear
stuff.
that.
And she's probably just, sometimes I know people that have stayed with men who've had
Yeah.
outside children and it takes them a while to get to the point where they're like, do you know what? This
hear
is
it.
it.
And,
So,
and going back to
give her a little
Ayesha,
bit of grace.
I think it's personal choice for sure, but like I just wouldn't like if she's got children with him, it wouldn't be the same. I don't know what her state, like her financial status is at the moment, kind of thing. But like she needs a plan before she moves on.
Absolutely.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like that is not a rash decision
Yeah.
at
No.
all, especially in this climate. Like I just wouldn't do that.
And he's
at all.
also shown form that he can leave a child out there.
Yeah,
that part.
So I think there is something that you'd be like,
He's
well, at least
directly- yeah.
my setup,
Mhm.
we have some type of a family going. I understand the one that's there that is being claimed, as it were, to stick with it. I understand that. It's not the smartest thing to do. But for the 38-year-old,
Ayesha.
with all of this being out there, I expect more from her.
Yeah.
To get involved in this situation, I understand the claims that she is a gold digger.
Yeah.
And I would probably say she needs to answer why she was there then.
Yeah.
If it ain't for financial reasons, why was you dealing with this dude who has a girlfriend who had a similar situation a year before you and he tried to pay her to have an abortion?
That's probably why she went there in the first place, because it's a sure thing. So you're going to get money if you do, money if you don't. I'm not against gold diggers personally. If you've got gold, let me dig. Yeah? Do you know what I mean?
As far as we know, is she on her own?
Yeah, at the moment.
So I suppose looking at it the other way, you could say, you know, if you decide, if you're 38 and you think I want kids and I'm going to raise them by myself, I suppose you could say, like, let's go where the money is.
Yeah.
Because kids are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So would I call that, is that anything other than gold digging? But I can understand, you know, if you're going to be sort of business minded about it, I want children. I don't know that I'm going to find a father that I want to spend the next 30 years with, but I need some cash. So you'll do.
That's
And if
very
he's
true.
prepared to do it,
There's worse things to do, isn't there? There are worse
We've
things
just
to
talked
do.
about
I
absent
understand.
fathers and all that stuff and normalising this behaviour. I don't think I can wholeheartedly say this is okay. I understand the dynamics of it, but I can't say it's okay because
I think if you're going to have a child,
it's not okay, but
singly, I think it actually is responsible to have the person that's going to be paying be financially secure enough to do it.
Yeah.
True.
I think actually
As a
that is
black and
probably
white,
a
sure.
better route than you being poor or struggling with a child because you wanted a child, if you're going to do it. But this situation is wholly crazy.
Absolutely.
Because this situation happens with people with no money.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And everyone's suffering.
I do think she's a predator, though.
So, yeah, she
It is a little-
The age gap is
100%.
crazy.
It's so wild. It's so wild.
And in a way, it's maybe safer if you aren't planning to do it by yourself. It's maybe safer to go for someone who's so much younger because you kind of know he's not going to want to get involved.
Ooh.
Yeah.
there's that.
That's true.
If she went in with that mindset for
I mean, there's
I
something.
mean, what other
but
mindset does
what
she go
happened
in
with
with?
It's not great.
He's got a girlfriend
and
as well.
they're still together, aren't they?
Yeah,
Claire
that's
and
it
her
as
boss.
well.
Well, that locks it down, really, doesn't it? He's like 15 years younger. He's with somebody else. He's already left other kids. Yeah, he's the one. He's the one for me.
Seriously.
That's absolutely what she did.
You
She's
know?
like, check.
What he's paying.
And he's stupid enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit crazy, but also just similar area. Anika Robinson, you know, the Queen of Pakistan.
Oh, yeah.
So she's now back in New York. But I was watching her and I was like, is she an enemy? Doing similar. Her husband is 19. He said they've been chatting online for a couple of years. He said maybe 2.5 to 3 years.
Yeah,
He would have been 16, 17 years old.
Oh,
She's
no.
way in her
That's a
30s.
predator.
Is it true that she's unwell?
She does have bipolar.
Oh, is that a fact?
It's
Yeah?
not.
Her family are saying that. Her
Okay.
son came out and said that she does have bipolar.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
got a
he
whole
did
son.
actually. No, when
a
she was
grown-up
away.
son
How old's
Yeah.
her son?
in his 20s.
Oh,
Yeah. When
Have
she
you
was
seen
away.
this lady?
No.
I remember.
She basically what happened? What was the story? She went to Pakistan.
Yeah, she went to go and meet her. It was like 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
I-
like that,
stop.
but with no camera crew
Yeah.
and no production.
But
Basically,
now
she done it. She's self-funded. Oh, for that.
I try not to
Sorry.
laugh for
Sorry.
so long.
90 Day Fiance.
It was.
And yeah, so have you seen a picture of the boy?
Yes, he's done an interview now
Oh,
on the Shade Room. He's come out and said his side of the story,
Oh,
and he
bless
does look like a very young man.
Yeah.
dear.
That's what made me think, hang on,
She went to
ONIJAH, that's a little bit
It's gross.
crazy.
She went to Pakistan to go collect her husband.
She did.
And they said no. His
Because
mum said no.
his mum.
Yeah.
His mum said no,
Yeah,
love.
she said absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then she was doing press conferences saying, "I want 100,000."
I want to sit
And
in ship or
then-
something like
yeah.
that. Something
My husband. They wouldn't let me bring him out the shop.
Basically.
Oh, God.
So yeah,
She is a predator, isn't it?
She's definitely a predator.
100%. 100%. I don't know what it is about her that she just has this vibe about her that is comes across funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
she
what
is.
she's doing is terrible.
Okay.
Because
It's
she looks
absolutely terrible.
slightly cuckoo for cuckoo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She looks cuckoo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that part, so I'm not sure whether to laugh at her or not, because that's where before I had her on the doctor, like, is the world, is the internet an enemy for making, kind of laughing at her? But I just don't know what side her brain's on.
No, I'm
mental
thinking she could
capacity.
be for
An
this
enemy.
guy. I think she is an enemy for
Yeah.
this whole situation. Because really, if somebody came to my house, like they've travelled from America, and they were talking to my son from when he was 16 years
That's
old.
Oh,
wild.
yeah. You're going to get beaten.
fighting you.
What type of craziness?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah.
hard-back
Yeah, I'm
woman.
fighting you.
And apparently, word on road is they actually thought she was a young white woman.
Oh.
And
I mean, there's always going to be seasons of racism,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the age gap, we can't fight for you because
Yeah,
No,
we
the age
can't.
gap is
and you're wild, and
Yeah.
if you're off your meds, and
Yeah.
who's your handlers?
Yeah. She was stripped to the Chanel the other day.
Yeah, I should drip.
she's been hanging out with Steph London.
Oh,
What? What?
Steph went on a car ride.
Yeah,
ride
wait,
with her.
what?
Yeah.
In America?
It's so random. But she's a predator.
She's
This is
famous
not good.
now.
This
Oh,
is
that's not
good.
good for
Crazy.
Steph. That's
It's
not
not good
for
for Steph.
Sister Steph. Let's not do that.
Oh, sorry. But I don't want us to come for us. I feel like
Yeah, I'm
You
from.
just think, well, there you go, live your best life.
Wow.
But just
with someone age appropriate.
yeah.
Yes.
So Ayesha, Anthony, internet. Ayesha's an enemy. Anthony's
The
an enemy.
older women that are preying on these young guys,
Yeah.
I think it becomes really trivialized. But this is a problem.
Yeah.
And especially
So-
so we can see it in like the kind of older 30s, 40s, and they're going for the 20s. But we don't discuss that there are so many young boys that are being touched up by women.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets like poo-pooed to the side. But I think, no, we need to call these people out when
Yeah.
they're doing it. And especially be like, no, it's not okay. Because we would reverse,
It'd be
it's
wild.
not okay.
Yes.
No, 100%.
All right, so my enemy of progress is Young Spray once again.
Jesus.
God.
I swear this may be Spray's 5th time on the enemy board. It's a constant. But also, so we had
What is it
Antonia,
Young Spray is. For
Young Spray. He calls himself Big Bad Spray now.
Old Spray.
Yeah. On the old Instagram, and he has a podcast called RTM, Realer Than Most podcast, and I feel like his pod is a crock of shit, personally.
Oh.
My personal opinion. It's terrible. He just cuts in every 5 minutes. But that is Young Spray, and now he is super popular. Young Spray decided that a couple of years ago he would get on the internet and call Antonia
But if someone's ugly, they're fucking ugly.
I know, but
Like,
I'm
you
just
can't
saying, but to
turn
me, as
ugly
an older
into
person,
beautiful to someone that
can I
finds
say
that
something?
she's ugly.
But as I've gotten older,
Not even ugly, ugly.
As I've
you
gotten,
have to use the H.
A young girl in university talking about being bullied online, but he decided, I'm going to cut her off. She then goes on his platform to get an apology. He said, come down, I'm going to apologise to you. And he does apologise. And then she gets her apology and she leaves.
I feel like by me coming on this podcast and accepting your apology, I just wanted to let people know that it's okay for people to disrespect you publicly and apologise publicly as well. However, yes, with the video I made a response. 2 wrongs don't make a right. So I would like to apologise as well. However, now that that's been said and out the way, I just want to go home because I feel like me personally, for me to continue this podcast, it wouldn't make sense. It's not ideal. The first opinion you had of me is by you calling me ugly. So with that being said, I respect you, I respect your podcast. You've apologised, but I don't see myself staying here for any longer than I need to be. So with that being said, can I go home?
So you don't want to go through your story or nothing?
No, because I don't need to share my story on a podcast that's already called me ugly. But I came here for the apology. Content creating industry, it's for people to insult you publicly, apologise publicly. That's okay, that's fine. But the minute the apology is done, we cut ties. I go my way, you go your way. Why am I going to continue on with your podcast? That's not real.
Can I ask why you decided to travel down here today? To get the apology. Just to get the apology and travel back.
I would have rather just send you the money though, and then you don't take the ticket and I would have said sorry on the phone and you just keep the money.
No, but it's not even just about that. I just felt like it takes a lot of guts to apologise publicly. Not a lot of people can do that.
She leaves. The internet is now being like, why are you going on Spray's platform and then you're just going to get up and leave? Like, why didn't you share your story and continue the pod? I think what she did was right. What do you guys think? If somebody's called you ugly on the internet with flipping 100k views, are you going to sit down and chat with them ever?
No way. She's good for going. Do you know what I mean? But I like what she's doing. I like her brand. She is, she's doing like kind of like women empowerment, like kind of thing, like through her story, like really traumatic actually, because she gets bullied still on a daily basis, right? She's got eczema as well, kind of thing. She's created creams for that as well, kind of thing. So she's doing really, really well. We should even put a link to her brand in the in the description box and stuff and everything like that, because I want to support her. She's really brave. She's really, really brave. I don't know, like without, obviously we don't condone violence, but without violence, like how I would actually deal with that situation. Like honestly, like you're cussing me and I'm supposed to sit in your face and be polite and, do you know what I mean? Amicable and listen to what you got to say when you chat shit on a regular anyway, kind of thing. Like, I don't even know how she was able to even be in the room. So I thought it was excellent that she done that, to be honest. And like he was saying, oh, we're not even going to show this, but obviously you got pressured to put it out anyway, kind of thing. And it was just like, yes, this is brilliant. I thought it was great. I think she's really brave. I'm really proud of her. I think she just needs to drown out this noise, because really and truly, she doesn't even need to entertain him at all, or people like him ever. So yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
She it was a lot, and it's the fact that he, like, in what world do you even need to have that type of content on your show? Like, I know he's sensationalist and he likes to court drama, but to the way he just described her, I felt no way like disrespecting her. Just that alone was horrible. I think when I saw the clip, I was like, I teared up, because like, why should anyone have to endure such horrible insults? Like, you just don't need to say all of that. You don't even need to talk about her. Like, it's different if she came for him. Not that I'm excusing anything, but if she came for him and he was like getting back at her, at least there's some drama. She's minding her own business, and you're going on your podcast to call her all sorts of horrible, derogatory terms. That's not nice. And I agree. Like, go and get your apology. I might have ignored it. I might have just been like, he's not worth the time, but she gets her visibility. She gets her moment in the spotlight. She knows, at least she's kind of weathered the storm of what happens when she goes in the public eye. So hopefully we know that she's got some sort of defences to be able to handle that. And then she goes off, and I have seen, thankfully, lots of support for her. So it hasn't been like a few kind of criticisms about why did you go on, but mostly people are like, yeah, do your thing, get your flowers and then move on. There was another girl that was on there. What's her name? KIKI Morales, she's been getting backlash because apparently people are saying that she was there and she was like, well, why would you come on and not do the whole interview? She's had to kind of come back and say, I'm sorry, that's not why I didn't mean to disrespect or take sides with Young Spray, but we had all prepped to speak to her and I was really looking forward to giving her time and speaking to her. So when she left, I was shocked. So that's what I meant.
But not shocked enough to get up and say, are you okay?
Yeah, all of that.
But, but you're sitting there chatting shit, talking about, well, why are you coming on? She had tone and attitude in her voice. Yeah. I think that she did, what's her name again, sorry?
Anto.
I think that she was amazing in that moment and I celebrate her and I think that she was super brave and hats off to you. You're a bigger woman than me because I don't know how I would react to going and facing someone like that. Yeah. I'd either be so frustrated I'm just full of tears and just spouting words or I'd want to fight him.
Yeah.
So it'd be one of the two things. So I don't know how I would react. I think it was perfect how she handled it. She went on there. She said to him, okay, I accept your apology, but I'm not going to stay and discuss anything with you because you've already shown that you have so much disdain for me. Yeah. What am I going to stay here for? Why would I share my story with you when that's how you think?
Exactly.
And why is that hard to understand? I don't understand the people on the internet saying like, why are you there for? Like this, of course, I'm not going to sit down with you. You're rude.
Absolutely.
You're actually rude.
Absolutely. What else was there to say? She got her apology and it would only have got, I'm sure she knew it would have got weird again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very quickly would have got weird and she'd have been sat and he might have ended up saying all that stuff to her face.
Right.
Yeah.
And he is a candidate to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's true because they're not being in a safe space because he's really shown that he's not a safe space.
Yeah.
So even if KIKI wanted to expand on the conversation, you've got, when you've got someone in the room that has said everything he said, even if he said I'm sorry, you know how he feels about you. So why are you going to be vulnerable in that space and go into certain conversations when you know
that girl?
KIKI Morales.
I do not believe her.
No,
I don't believe her.
She's come out and said she's neurodivergent, and you know that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with neurodivergent.
No, there
that's what she. No. I'm saying she's using that as
an excuse.
I
would say she's using it as
their bad behaviour down to
yeah, that's my part. That's what I meant.
Stop it.
God.
Just stop with that.
In this moment, there was no need to say that.
There was.
It's like when anybody is, I mean, even Spray has used it. Like, no, it's my ADHD comes out and it's like, Spray, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
you're just an asshole.
I have a daughter who is neurodivergent, who is the sweetest, kindest, most generous, warmest, lovable human you could ever meet. So I'm not that nonsense. People, wherever they sit on the spectrum, whether they're typical, atypical, whatever, can be decent and not decent humans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's
exactly.
And when someone like this guy decides that the way to make themselves more popular and edgy and relevant is to be the worst version of themselves, and target someone, you be the worst. Just sit there. Do you swear on this show?
Let's go.
Yes.
You can sit on your show and eat some shit.
Yes.
We'll all go, ooh, isn't he edgy? You don't need to attack other human beings.
Yeah.
Really
you don't need to do it.
Really don't.
That's the truth.
And the fact that he, in his big old age,
Right. He's literally RP.
Yeah.
Right.
He's old enough to be her dad.
Of course he is. It's coming for a young girl. You're sick.
Yeah.
That's what you are. You're sick. You need to go and get some therapy because you've obviously got issues. You're online spouting shit daily. You need to stop it. It's just not fair.
It's unnecessary.
And then you're acting shocked because someone doesn't want to sit there and listen to your fake apology.
Yeah.
This is he's not on a good run actually.
No, he's not.
I think Pound wants to fight him. Well, when he said that Young Spray is pulled out now. No, won't agree to the terms.
Yeah.
Want to fight him. Miss Our Fabulous came for him the other day. Yeah. I think she was part of the catalyst of him doing the apology or something like that.
So he was like, let me stop going against these young girls.
Yeah.
Because he starts on her from time to time. But when Pound said, like, I'm going to put up 20K and all you got to do is put up 5K and all you got to do is survive 5 minutes.
He said he wasn't going to hit back.
Like, that's so out of order. But Spray, if you're big, bad Spray, you got to take that.
Right.
You got to take it.
You got mouth for days, innit? Let's see it then, Spray.
Because can you take a beating from Pound?
Can you? Let's see. Maybe it might sort you out.
No, it's not happening.
Might sort him out. See when people have got
I'd
mouth.
love to see it. I'd actually pay. And I
would
would pay
to
but I would pay to watch him get bust up by power.
I would not pay per view. I'd pay to go and watch it live.
Yeah.
Ringside
Exactly.
seats. 100%. Okay, so someone else who's back in the bin is President Donald J. Trump.
Chunky Pumpy.
Also known as a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a series of reasons he's in the bin, but I'm going to start with this one. Number one are the tariffs. So Trump's been on a tariff tirade and he's charging people, countries, some outlandish amounts of money. He has recently imposed a 104% tariff on Chinese imports after Beijing refused to drop its retaliatory, now listen to the word, tariffs. So he originally was like, I'm going to charge them, I think it was 30-something%. So they were like, well, we're going to charge you 30-something%. And he said, you can't do that to me. You can't do that to the United States of America. So I'm now going to charge you 104%.
Just pulling numbers out his arse.
He's literally pulling numbers out of his bum. Something interesting happened after he started imposing these tariffs. On the 30th of March, there was a meeting with China, Japan, and South Korea.
We've got some big breaking news. China, Japan, and South Korea have reached a consensus that the three sides will jointly respond to the United States' tariffs that are set to take effect this week. This was just announced on Chinese state media. It's hard for me to emphasize just how big a deal it is for these countries to come together like this, and it further shows how Donald Trump has united the world against the United States. This announcement...
Countries that notoriously do not like each other got together to discuss how they were going to react to Trump's crazy tariffs. Just a bit of backstory on the whole relationship with China, Japan, and South Korea. So Japan colonized and occupied Korea, stripping the people of its land, pillaging and molesting people, if that sounds familiar, performing tests on a lot of people. They did that. And then they also massacred over 200,000 people in China in the 1930s. In 1937, to be precise, Japan had a secret military unit which carried out experiments on these people. So there is a long history of hatred amongst them. And in the last 8 days, they have met twice. To discuss what's going to happen with Trump. Trump is saying he's doing this because he wants to make America great again, but he's actually saying make America rich again. That's the new one that he's saying. He's saying it will encourage companies in America to manufacture on American soil. But what he's not understanding is those companies, a lot of them small companies, won't have the money to manufacture on American soil. And if they have to maintain manufacturing from China, it's going to cost a whole heap of money and they're going to end up losing. So
by doing this, he's killing companies overnight. Small businesses are literally going to be wiped out.
Absolutely.
Because of this. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And it's not, is he just an agent of chaos? He just, there's no rhyme, because what does that even mean? Like, make America rich again. You got rich on the back of slavery. Like, what are you actually saying?
And they're in like trillions and trillions of deficit because they keep funding wars.
And who owns their debt? Is it not China? China.
I mean, JD Vance was in a press conference today, and he said that we're borrowing money from Chinese peasants.
Imagine
Chinese
but
peasants.
you're the one borrowing the money from the peasants.
Who's the peasant?
Who's
the peasant?
It's crazy. But all right, let's say let's say you're Trump or Hillary or Biden, and we only have 10 more years to be at the top. That's it. We've only got 10 more years. And it could go in 3 years. If we don't do some bold, crazy shit and crash markets for us to be like, we're still powerful.
Phoenix Rising.
As a citizen, would you be like, no, let's just end this in 3 years and do the honourable thing? Or are you going to be like, actually, let the agent of chaos do it so that we have 10 years at the top? If you know the end is nigh, are you going to try and delay it, or are you going to have it immediate?
Can I buy eggs? Like, that's my question. Can I actually buy eggs in this scenario?
And do you mean not have the next election? Is that what you mean?
As in, you know that the end is going to happen. You know, we are not going to be at the top. America knows this is the end of their empire.
Yeah.
But I want to try and keep my empire going for as long as I can, or do I just let it end?
I don't think they all know. I think some people really think it's being reignited.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't think everyone knows. And I think that Trump and the strange group of people that surround him really do think that they can fly. And will fly. And it sort of doesn't matter. I think I was talking about this to my husband just this morning, actually, and we decided that they it's not even like they want to go back to a kind of in the industrial age when you had the people that ran the factories and the people that worked in the factories. They want to go back further than that to some kind of feudal thing.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like, can everybody just get back in the box where the poor people are the poor people and the working class are the working class and the rich are the rich? Can we all just go back to that, please? So we all know where we stand. And there will be a handful of people. So it's basically, make a few Americans rich again and make a whole bunch of Americans really poor, effectively back to slavery, but we will pay you a bit.
That's exactly what he's doing because he doesn't care. Like, the rich get richer. No matter what happens, the people that are at the top, the Elon Musks and all of those people that are with him and that were at his inauguration, those guys will be fine.
Yeah.
It's everybody else that will suffer because when all these smaller businesses start breaking up, the richer businesses, the bigger businesses are going to take over and they're going to be able to increase their prices and they're going to be able to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That is what's happening.
You still need people that are going to be able to buy. I don't actually even think that's the end game of this. I think it's really about power and maintaining it. And obviously,
that's definitely part of it.
People are there. Like they don't care about them. They don't care about the average person that put him into power. I don't even know if that even counts as an election. But I think it's something about the switch of power with China. They know China aren't quite powerful enough to go against them. Because if you think, look how they just like kowtowed to Russia. So you're like, we can't fight Russia.
Yeah.
Russia has nuclear arms. So we're not going to fight them. But now we're going to have a fight with China. Somehow they must know China isn't powerful enough to take them down yet. But also, they're buying time.
It's bullying tactics.
You're being a bully. You're buying time for an end, really.
But I do, because I think that I saw something where they were saying that Russia kind of arse was exposed a bit because imagine they're supposed to, in quotes, not advocating, obliterated Ukraine. All now they haven't. And when people saw that the weaponry that they had was falling apart, wasn't really as up to standard, that kind of evil master that legacy that Putin's had has just been put into that position. It's not actually as true or as strong as it is.
I don't think that holds water. I know folks are saying that because America now is trying to avoid having a war where they're sending troops. They pulled out of Afghanistan. So, and remember the Vietnam War, it's not like they weren't warmongers. Like they were going into wars and you were losing. That's really a shitty stain on your reputation after World War II.
100%.
So I think Ukraine and the way he backed down and is like, like putting it on Ukraine, I feel there's something in that to look into. Why is America being like, Ukraine, look, you need to do a deal with Russia, but then you're starting an economic war with China? I don't know. I'm just like that. He is an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
He is.
But I don't know if he's as stupid.
He is stupid.
I mean, he also could be as dumb as we all think he is.
But he's
around
tactically
him,
stupid.
Yeah, they're the ones like pushing the strategy, right? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I think like I don't think we felt the wrath of China in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, truly and and if it's not just them, but Japan and Korea as well, we don't know what that world is.
They hate each other.
Absolutely don't.
And they've come together.
I think that I think the US is scrambling. I think that they're using every single propaganda machine.
Of course they are
at the moment to just confuse all messages all the
Trump
time.
Held a conference and he held up a chart.
Yeah.
And on the chart, he had a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is how much the tariffs are. This is what they're charging us. No, it was the trade deficit. And the reason why the trade deficit is so high is because America consumes the most.
Right.
That's why it was so much more than what they had.
But I think he just likes, because he knows that not everyone's going to get it. He's just talking shit and he gets away with it. It is agent of chaoticness.
I mean,
and he's surrounded by people who facilitate that. In a
Yeah.
way, they're more concerning.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
the fact that and that's why I feel like they kind of look at him like, you know, if I'm not with the king might, you know, I'm on the chopping block kind of thing.
Maybe.
It's those people. I mean, oh my God, J.D. Vance is an extraordinary human.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah,
I just kind of lean into the television and I'm like, what is driving you
Yeah.
to behave like a human reptile? I don't understand.
I think he wants to be president.
Shit.
And, you know, he's following Trump's lead.
Lizard blood.
He wants to be president.
I just think he could
What
be
is
a
that?
reptile.
He is a
But he could be a reptile.
I'm watching him and I'm like, I
If
don't
he
can't be real.
understand.
If he eats chlorinated,
I'm with you there.
if he eats chlorinated chicken,
Oh,
then he could be a
You know,
reptile.
this is it. What is it with
So
the
Trump-
chlorinated chicken?
For the way they clean
Trump
their
is saying to the UK,
Yeah.
if you import our chlorinated chicken, we will give you free trade deals.
No, thank
Imagine,
you.
no thanks.
No.
And Nigel Farage is saying,
Yeah,
I would let them import chlorinated
Okay,
chicken.
you eat
Nigel.
it then.
Now listen, let's bear in mind. Let's bear in mind. Americans can't buy eggs right now,
They can't buy eggs.
but there's chlorinated chicken that you can
That's
export.
why they
to
can't
us.
buy eggs.
Yeah, yeah,
Because they're chlorinated the chickens.
Because China put on a tariff on their export of food because they were taking in their flipping shitty chicken and beef.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to reroute all of their produce. We absolutely don't need that.
We don't need
The
that here.
UK, can we please just stay out of this shit?
Yeah.
We need
Keep
to
our
be
heads
friends.
down.
We
Yeah,
need to
stay
be
out
friends
of
with
it.
Switzerland. We
Yeah, let's
absolutely
allow
need
it.
to. No, we do.
We won't, you know,
Because here's
why
the shit.
why are we bowing and scraping to this strangeness? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
understand.
weird.
I mean, Keir Starmer's doing the same policies slightly as Trump anyway, with his immigration
Yeah,
policies
yeah.
and his
Oh.
deportation shit that he's got going on right now as well.
Mm.
Trump's also in the bin. His administration are also in the bin because they deported, I think I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, a young man and a young Venezuelan man who was there legally, green card, family, whole 9 yards. They deported him to a prison in, I can't remember which country.
El Salvador.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And they've realised that it was a mistake. They've owned up that it was a mistake that they deported him. But they're saying they are saying that they don't know if they can get him back.
Yeah, that's the part. That part.
So he's in this prison with gang members and mass murderers. And it's a mistake. No,
Yeah.
but like the prison is known for this shit. Anyway.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah.
people
Yeah.
they deported. But they know they're saying they can't get him back. So his administration are also in the bin for that. Final thing why Trump's in the bin is because this week he has also hosted again President Benjamin Netanyahu, who you know is a permanent enemy in this place here. And this is the same week when Israel have finally admitted to killing 15 ambulance workers. Even though at first they said that we killed them, but it's because they were in unmarked vehicles and they didn't have their lights on and they weren't following protocol. And then a video was released, which came off of one of the ambulance workers' phone. One of the ambulance workers who died, it came off of his phone, and it shows that they had all the lights on. Were following all the procedures, and it shows the moment that the Israeli army basically massacred these people. They put them in a mass grave with inside and on top of their ambulances. And then, now that they've admitted that they did wrong, they said, we buried them because we wanted to protect them from dogs eating them.
That's so weird.
So Trump hosted Benjamin Netanyahu, said nothing about what had happened.
You know how I
but-
feel about the Gaza Strip? I think it's an incredible piece of important real estate. And I think it's something that we would be involved in, but, having a peace force like the United States there, controlling and owning the Gaza Strip would be a good thing. Because right now, all it is for years and years, all I hear about is killing and Hamas and problems. And if you take the people, the Palestinians, and move them around to different countries, and you have plenty of countries that will do that, and you really have a freedom zone. You call it the freedom zone, a free zone, a zone where people aren't going to be killed every day. That's a hell of a place.
Whether it's Ukraine or Syria or any other place, people could leave. Gaza was the only place where they locked them in. We didn't lock them in. They're locked in. And what is wrong with giving people a choice? Now, we've been talking, including over lunch, about some countries, I won't go into them right now, that are saying, if Gazans want to leave, we want to take them in. And I think this is the right thing to do. If you give it, it's going to take years to rebuild Gaza. In the meantime, people can have an option. President has a vision. Countries are responding to that vision. We're working on it. I hope we'll have good news for you.
They're despicable. That's the word I use. Despicable humans, and it's really difficult to get your head around people talking about the fellow human beings and their home in this way, as though you're discussing. I'm not even sure what. Actually,
it's like you're playing a game.
It's like a plot of land. Like literally a plot of land
like a property
somewhere, and
deal.
you're like, all we got to do is just develop this plot of land.
Not knowing, not dealing with actually what's happened on that.
I really do think that the long game that's been playing here amidst all this carnage is that in 5 or 10 years' time, we will have moved on, and what you'll hear is, "Oh, you're going on holiday? I'm going to Gaza because it's cheap."
Gotta hope
That's
not.
the long game they're playing. That we might not forgive, but we will. Rather, we might not forget, but we will forgive enough because it's really cheap. It's cheaper than Spain.
Oh,
It's appalling.
That's just sent shivers down my spine.
Beyond appalling. But I do think that's the game they're playing. That yes, they're all getting upset now. They're all marching and protesting and not using this shop and that shop and not buying from here or there. But give it time, because when it's a bit cheaper than the Costa del Sol, they'll be fine. We'll sort it. That's the long game they are playing with human life and livelihood. It is bizarre. And I just want to say, and I'm sure you've said this before, that I would feel as strongly about this, and I'm sure all of you would, if Israel was run by the Pope
100%.
or King Charles.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Or the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the ethnicity or the religion of the people who are doing it, or the religion of the people they're doing it to.
Yeah.
It's appalling.
Yeah, across the board.
It's appalling.
Absolutely.
It's depraved. It's barbaric. It's unhinged. I mean, every possible word has been used to describe it. And this digging in, if we silence, if we deport, if we imprison, if we criminalize, if we get you out of your university, if we get you out of your job, if we get you out of the NHS, might be a way to influence people, but it's not the way to make friends.
I know people are raging, but I remember learning about the Holocaust and always wondering, so what was going on in the world? And there's limited resources for what was happening in other countries. Was there mass protests? Was something going on? It's it was really hard to gather that data. And there's still points of just going on the USA, even our elections. Labour didn't win because they said they were going to do anything about this genocide.
Yeah.
And so it feels like there is masses of people that don't actually care. And that end result could happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do care vehemently, but it's not the sway. It's not how we, when we were younger, would think it would be if you knew that Jewish people were being killed in concentration camps. So it's I understand how they managed to kill 6 million. I understand how slavery happened because there are so many people that are complicit in, as long as it's not me, this can happen. Yeah. And that's really the problem where I'm I don't know if we're going to have that end of apartheid like with South Africa. I don't know if we're going to see that with Palestine.
We've never known anything like this. No. But we've never known anything like this. Awful things have happened, and awful things are happening in other places.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible, despicable things. The fundamental difference for me is that none of my elected officials are telling me that it's fine that M23 are in Congo.
Right.
That there was nothing else we could do about it. None of my elected officials are telling me that Sudan, it's war, this happened, or Syria, or Iraq, or anywhere, or who cares about people being kidnapped in Nigeria, right? Nobody's, and by that I mean in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling me that those things are okay. Nobody's telling me we have to supply arms to sort it out. Nobody's telling me, and also you could stand stark bollock naked in the middle of any town square and talk about any of those places.
Yeah.
And the police might be called.
Yeah.
But, they'll tell you to put your clothes on. They might charge you with being a bit indecent and you're on your way.
And what's the photographer's name? Is it
Miss Anne Harriman.
Right. He was at a protest recently and he said he saw a girl from Sudan and he saw a girl from, with a girl from Congo, and they were at a Palestinian march. And he said to them, "Oh, how are you here? How do you feel knowing that there's these atrocities going on in your countries too?" And they both said that the minute that we accept what's going on in Palestine, then we're accepting what's going on elsewhere. Mm-hmm. He then said, one of the girls ran up to him afterwards and said, "Think about it this way. If you talk about Congo and you shout it, nothing happens. Your life will not be affected. If you talk about Sudan, shout it. Your life will not be effective. If you whisper about Palestine, people are going to come for you."
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the fact that it is so wrong to say babies are being killed, innocent people are being killed. I cannot tell you how many videos I have seen of just massacre after massacre. And we're being told that we can't talk about it because people are defending themselves.
Absolutely.
What are you defending?
And
seriously. And then they want us to think that it started on the 7th of October. They want us to forget the colonization that's been going on and obliteration for the last 76 years. They want us to act like this is normal. This is not normal.
Mm-hmm. It's so not normal.
It's scary when I go on somebody's profile and I see them truly backing killing other people from the safety of your home in the UK.
Yes.
And truly being like, no, this is preserving who we are. And it's literally like, my mind boggles. I really do look at people like, are you actually even human? That you can just scroll and see the things that comes up on my feed, the same as you, all the time. And I'm like, how are we not all in despair that this is taking place in various parts of the world? But this is taking place for years. And somebody like Jeremy Corbyn can be called anti-Semitic for literally putting his hand up and being like, are we going to do something about Palestine?
Yeah.
And all that went through the Labour Party on that. And I think that's when I really did disengage with politics, was Jeremy Corbyn talking about it, meeting a Palestinian woman over here, and she's telling me about her family. This is like maybe 10 years ago. And being like, wow, I'm alive and this is taking place.
Yeah.
And folks are losing their whole livelihoods for just being like, can we do something about this?
And it's ridiculous that because anti-Semitism exists, anti-Black racism exists, Islamophobia exists. I personally feel that the people like the Kemi Badenochs of this world, who see anti-Semitism everywhere, see anti-Black racism nowhere at all.
Yeah, she said it's
right?
Yeah, she's a witch.
And so those people, you go, oh, okay, right. I get the measure of you. I think there are people who, you might need me to hate you. So if I see you, right, so I just want to give you my analogy. If someone's been in, as Palestine were in relationship to Israel, if someone's been in an abusive relationship for decades, right, and everybody knows it's abusive, and we all know those people, we all know one or more of those people who've been in that abusive relationship, and you just can't help them, You can't. You don't have the power to help them. And that person who's in the abusive relationship suddenly turns around and, they just lay out that abuser. For me, that's what happened on October 7th, 23, right? But what happens is when that person then goes to court everything starts with that event.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we're not allowed to, in court, we're not allowed to
Backstory.
talk about the
Yes.
decades of abuse that they
Yeah.
suffered before.
It's inadmissible.
So we're just dealing with what they did then. And not only are we dealing with that, but the police decide that maybe a family were in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going
Joint enterprise.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. And that's my analogy for what's gone on here. That it's like, and because of the way we'd been fed the history so brilliantly, we didn't, you know, because all the bruises were hidden. So how did that happen?
Yeah.
How could such an awful, despicable thing happen? And yes, it was.
Absolutely.
But then I learn of all the decades of abuse, which have actually been right there in plain sight. And so if you're talking about a couple, oh, that's why the makeup was a bit too thick. That's why, do you know what I mean? That's why they didn't come out that day. That's why they said they had a cold and they didn't come to Suddenly I'm like, this has been, how have I not tuned into any of this? And now because I want to talk about it, suddenly I hate you.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate you for any reason other than you've gone for all these other people.
Yeah.
You're pummeling people into the ground. And I'm meant to hold your jacket and watch? Because that seems to be what our governments are doing. They're holding your jacket and they're just watching. It's like, I don't think that person is getting up. I think you can stop now.
Yeah.
They're not just holding the jacket. They're buying them new jackets.
Yes.
And buying them a drink.
And don't you dare accuse me of anti-Semitism. Because if you were Catholic, Buddhist, Church of England, atheist, I would feel the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you need to hear that, or you need to question why you won't hear it.
There are Jewish people marching in the streets every single day, sitting, holding protests in political spaces, you know, losing their jobs, saying, not in my name.
Yes.
There is a Holocaust survivor who marches every week and who was recently told to report to the police station. He's like in his 80s or 90s or something like that. I forget his name, in this country. And he says, not in my name. You know, you cannot excuse what is being done.
No.
You can't, because it's like you said, for me, I don't care who you are. If you're doing these actions, it's wrong. You could have been a black man. You could have been a black country. I don't actually give a flying fuck. It's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. And this idea that it's because of what happened on the 7th of October, that's why they're doing what they're doing in Gaza. What are you doing in the West Bank? What's happening in the West Bank? Why have you got all of these people that you're just clapping off the streets? Why is it that one set of people are free to come and go and walk around as much as they please, and another set of people some of them can't even use their front door anymore?
Absolutely. What
They've got to go
turning
through
up
the
at
back.
people's houses saying it's your land from 3,000 years ago.
Imagine.
Can I do that?
We're none of us safe if that rule stands.
Yeah.
You better pack up and get ready to go.
The Italians could come here in a minute and say, actually, this is my shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, all over the world.
All over the world.
Everybody
Everyone
could go
could
somewhere.
pay.
Everybody
I
could
was
go
there
somewhere.
first. Well,
Every black
historically,
person could go
Just go
somewhere
where we want.
and say, this is mine.
Yeah.
Every black person,
I think
everywhere.
they've removed our autonomy, our ability to believe in making a change. That's what's been slowly eroded. Apathy has become a thing. They've made the world feel helpless about change because as they start to enforce laws about protests, if you protest now, you can get arrested. Freedom of speech and the power to affect change has been removed over the years. And we're seeing it more and more. So I think people are like helpless to really, if I go and march, what's going to happen? Is it going to change anything? When you've got people like Donald Trump, they're just doing what they want. People like Keir Starmer's supposed to be for the people. And it's just
lawyer.
turning into a right-wing clown. So we've just lost that feeling, like maybe in the 60s, 70s, 80s, where maybe you felt like you could march and make a change. That's gone now.
The thing is, though, I still believe in it.
I believe in it, but I just don't know. I don't know if I trust
and I still
things can
believe in
change.
making a change because I think because we're living in this right now, we're forgetting that all the things that have changed took years, decades, you know, and it took people not giving up, We cannot give up.
Yeah,
we have to speak on fucking wrong, no matter what it is and where it is. We have to talk on it because the people that stay silent, that's how these systems never change.
I don't think we stay silent,
if people,
but yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying if people were to stop, if there wasn't the Underground Railway, if there wasn't people marching and boycotting South African goods, we would still be in those places now. Yeah. If there wasn't the civil rights movement, we would still be in those places now. They want us to be quiet. They want us to just be complicit in this nonsense. They don't want us to talk about it. It takes decades, but we have to keep saying these things.
Yeah.
We absolutely have to. Even like what you said about the Holocaust, Anna, how long was that going on before people interjected? America didn't even interject until they were hit. Yeah. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Well, all around the world, it's like people were kind of like, it's kind of
not on our doorstep. Yeah.
And
until
if we go and help them, where are they going to go?
Exactly.
Like, do we want them in our country? It's a bit like that. I think there has to be a sacrifice though, and that's the thing. It's most definitely, even us talking about it, we don't know if we never spoke about this where we would be. We don't know if we would be bigger. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's the sacrifices that you have to make, because I would want, if this was on our doorstep, and I was there in Palestine with my kids and they can't go to school and I'm sheltering and I haven't got a house and I've got to be in a tent, I would want a fellow human across the world to be like, no, this can't run. Yeah. And they are prepared to sacrifice for me.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of that. We all have to do it together, because definitely people in South Africa would still be in apartheid if there wasn't all of those student marches around the world, if people weren't actually boycotting all of the various different things, and people were doing it not thinking it was going to happen in their lifetime.
This is the other thing to think about as well, yeah? If boycotting doesn't work and if marching doesn't work, why is it that the governments are fearful of it so much to the point where they are now enforcing new laws to make these things illegal?
Exactly.
It works.
I'm just saying they're making it difficult, but I don't think we stop. But it's definitely that they're making it harder and harder.
I was at protest yesterday and they filmed, the police were there just filming every face.
Yeah.
Every face.
Yeah. That's the whole thing now, isn't it? They don't even have to do the filming anymore.
Facial recognition.
They have that facial recognition up. They're just going to be spotting people all the time. But even that, we can rage against it.
We can. Shadow.
Yeah, change the tone a little bit. Not going to lie.
Go on, change it.
Okay, so I would like to think that I'm having a good hair day today.
Oh, yeah.
However,
100%.
Some people out there might disagree.
Oh, wait.
And that's, in my opinion, that's okay.
How dare they? Have you seen this beauty? How very dare you in advance?
There was a young lady, a BBC journalist. Her name is Jonelle OWOMOYI. I don't know how to say it. Sorry, apologies. I should know, because you seem like you're from my land. But I don't. See, now this place is feel a little bit hostile because of my...
Owoyemi.
Okay.
Awomoyi.
Okay, it's not as easy.
Awomoyi.
Yeah.
Awomoyi.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am neurodivergent, so, you know, just saying, it's a fact. So anyway. And I'm, yes, exactly, neurodivergent. But yeah, so basically this journalist, she was interviewing a wrestler called Tiffany Stratton, right?
Okay.
And while she's interviewing, I think like the camera maybe just panned to the side.
Yeesh.
And we see her hair.
You don't even need a watch because it's always Tiffy time. Paris Hilton and Sharpay Evans from High School Musical.
Hair.
So no.
And it was a sight to be seen.
It was a lot.
Literally. Okay, like, so she had like a bit of I think it was a middle part bust down. That's what she was going for.
Yeah, she had a middle part.
However, she had leave out, right? The leave out was not blending
at all
with the hair. It was on top of the hair.
A puff.
It was not inside. It was not blended. It was not smooth. It was not mixed. It was not
blended. That's right.
It was giving natural on top of straight.
It was giving natural.
Two hairstyles in one.
It was giving mushroom. Yeah.
Oh.
It was noticeable.
Yes.
Right? It was definitely noticeable. the clip went viral.
It did.
Yeah.
It absolutely went viral. People were just saying, girl, what's going on? No one helped you. Why the cameraman didn't say nothing? Why didn't your producer say anything? Why didn't the girl you're interviewing say something?
On a hairband.
Everybody, yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Everybody was saying something about the hair. She now was just like, hold on a second. She came out and responded.
Hi, I'm JONELLE. I'm a journalist at BBC News. You've probably seen me on your social media feeds. Last week, I interviewed WWE champion Tiffany Stratton about women in sport and faced abuse about my appearance. A tragic earthquake in Myanmar demanded quick action to share updates, leaving no time for hair and makeup. My primary role is to deliver the story. The presentation wasn't ideal. It's not how I choose to be seen, but no one deserves that kind of response. It was out of line. It should be about the journalism, not how I look. Rough days happen. Move on. Jokes and playful comments, go for it. But a flood of abuse can do more harm than you could expect. Your words have impact. Make them count. And to those who've just discovered my journalism, there's a lot more to come. See ya.
I'm here to
Bye.
say, baby girl, let me put a little napkin while I hold your hand. Yeah. Absolutely not. That hair was a distraction.
Yeah.
Can we stop pretending?
Yeah.
That we're not seeing what we're seeing. We need to stop pretending. Honestly. Like, stop. Like, I get it. Like, you can wear your hair however you want to, but know that you will have a reaction at time.
And
okay?
I mean, and it wasn't a slight fizzle. It was a whole puff versus unpuff. And I get it. But in this current climate, you're going to have this hairstyle, then you have to do due diligence. Unfortunately, because she said that she had to quickly report about the earthquake in Myanmar, so she didn't have time to get her beautification on.
But that wasn't the interview, though.
She reported on it. She said it happened.
She was talking about...
It was like, that happened, so there wasn't time for me to do that.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
It says centered on, it was recorded shortly after breaking news of a tragic earthquake in which AWOMOYI had to cover urgently. So
she
it
wasn't
seems
talking
like
about that in the
no, I know
interview
she
with
wasn't,
the
but
hairstyle,
apparently she had
so
to do
use
that.
that in the same context is
just
wild.
like, it was
she's
a bit
talking to
wild.
a wrestler
No,
about
I
whatever they were talking about, and then she's now coming out and saying, "Oh, people are dying." Yes, I agree with you.
Yes,
100%. But that wasn't the nature of the interview where this clip went viral.
So what are we saying? If you have natural hair, just stay away from straight?
No, that's a wild summation.
Where
did you get that from?
No.
Just do your hair.
I'm just saying, if you're on one of those roles, where you're on TV and you're talking, you have to present yourself.
Yeah.
Then you have to present yourself in a way that is appeasing to the eye. Otherwise, it's going to be a distraction.
Yeah.
That is absolutely normal. I'm seeing something that is strange and that is off here. Like, do you know what I mean? If it was a white person with wild hair, I would say the same thing.
I
would say the same thing.
For me, it was wild, but I also think at least own up to it, innit? Just say, shit, man, I had a bad hair day. Because people have bad hair days.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. What she wasn't trying to start some new styles.
No, absolutely not. If she was, it was bad.
But you know who's also the enemy? The people in the room are the enemy.
Yes.
Because not one of you could come on here looking like that and I'm going to be like, Shards.
That,
you know.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why you need diversity in all aspects of the industry, because we advocate for having people on set that understand what's going on. So someone could have it was breaking news, but it was a pre-recorded story. I don't think it was a live story. You could have had 2 minutes to push it down. Someone should have seen something, because that was a wild situation that she was in.
But I wonder, even if you'd been there, like if you'd been, I don't know, doing sound.
Yeah.
Would you have said something? She dropped up.
Yeah.
As a black woman to another black woman. Baby girl, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me get a hairband for you. Quick, let's do
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially as
I feel like some people may not have even have known
they might
that was a thing.
I think we're not in that world anymore. I don't know. Especially in presenting. Do you know what I mean? People are gonna know.
I think,
but there's something off with.
I do think that also it could have been very sensitive. Whoever's in the space might well, that's going on. Am I allowed to speak about? Some people get overly PC.
Can I say anything about?
But they might be like, can I say something? It might be not. I can understand. Let's be really stereotypical. Middle-aged white guy, sound guy, camera guy's like, well, right, that's her hairstyle. Because especially if she entered the chat like that, maybe if it was they were doing it, filming, and her hair was straight, and then it slowly started to fizzle, maybe. But if she entered the room like that, then you're not clued up,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
but you can have any hairstyle, and a middle-aged white woman. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But he might have thought it was nice. He might have thought it was nice, though.
Yeah,
He might have said it was nice.
He might not, because it's a bit like, you know.
No, you can't say.
Because if it's just, if you're going out with, probably with, so no makeup department, it's just you and the sound guy and the camera guy or gal. And they might be thinking but they might have seen other styles that they're like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
You know? And so they just don't know what to say because they don't want to offend.
What about the girl she's interviewing?
She might not got on either. Honestly, I think you guys are
You made my face go real straight
way
just then.
too many people credit for actually knowing anything about black hair as to what we deem as that looks odd to they're just like, that's just a black girl with her hair.
But white girls, they wear weaves.
That's why
also.
my face was straight.
They wear like clip-ins and sew things and like...
They do it all. They do the same.
So they know that the hair is supposed to blend.
But you're saying that one of them was in the room with her. They probably weren't there. It probably was an old white man.
No. What I'm saying, even
As in the girl she's talking to.
I think that she couldn't see. She was opposite.
Okay, can I just say devil's...
Because it was the back of her head.
Yeah, but it was
like all hair.
You can see it from the back. Like,
but can I just say this then? At the very least, all right, no one else in the room knows Wagwan, yeah? She knows that she's there with some old white people who don't know nothing about nothing, and she's interviewing a chick who may not know nothing or nothing about nothing. When we come in here and we sit down, what do? What do we do when we come in here and sit down?
Check the mirror.
Or we do this, don't we? To make sure that we look okay.
Yeah,
at the very
Yeah.
least then, just own up to, I didn't check myself before I had a bad hair day. Just say that.
Don't try and make
Laugh
us...
it off.
Yeah.
Don't try and make it out like
We're
you people. Like, just own up. Everybody has a bad hair day.
Yeah, laugh it off. That would
It's
be better.
normal. Just be like, oh my God, look
I
what...
think she should have said it was April Fool's.
She should have.
It came out on April the 1st.
Yeah.
She should have been like that. It was April Fool's.
She should have.
But you know, don't you think, right? There's times when you're at the checkout or whatever, and you're looking at the person that's serving you, and you're like,
I do that all the time.
Can I?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know if I think it's slipped a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't want to say anything. I will say, like, if your skirt's tucked in your tights, I will tell you.
Yeah.
Or if it's rucked up under your rucksack.
Yeah.
But when it comes to hair, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm allowed.
I'm very similar. I am just like, let's just keep it moving.
Depending on who it is, if I know you or I feel comfortable to say, let's fix it.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's certain people...
I think that when we've had people on here and something's been askew, we've let them know.
No, I know, but I'm saying we're comfortable.
Like they're going to go on camera.
Yeah,
but if you saw someone in the street...
This is us
in
our
the street.
space. Yeah,
I understand that.
And in certain scenarios, you feel... And there are certain moments like, I'm not going to say nothing. But I think we have a duty of care as black women as we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of our nature, because there are definitely some black women who'll be like, I'll leave you to it. But we will... I think most of us, our nature is like, let's fix you, sis, because you don't want you looking crazy. I do that all the time. But in certain situations, you're just like, you want to do this, don't you?
Is that ever okay?
I mean, sometimes
because
there's that.
Because some people say, let's normalize looking crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Actually, I'm sorry. I'm not here for it.
No.
Who says normalize looking crazy? What does that mean?
Why are you concentrating on my hair when what I'm saying is important?
No, it's impossible. This is like, then let's all get out of bed and not brush our teeth.
No, but some people don't.
No, I'm actually all right. Yeah, I'm all right with having standards.
If I've presented this way, let me present that way. And you face your front.
But you know what?
There's a movement of that.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, leave me alone. However I want to show up is how I show up.
If that's you, then don't say nothing. Also, if that's you, shut the fuck up and just keep it moving. Yeah. Because everyone, and also let that be consistent. Because every time I see you now, I want to see the puff and the straight. And I know that's your look. 100%. Don't come next time looking bust down every time. Because we know you were wrong in the moment. I'm not disrespecting you, Joelle, because I get it. It's fast paced. There's sometimes I look back at junkets I've done. And I'm like, oh, goddamn, I made a mistake there. It wasn't fixed. Shit happens. And that's what you should have just said. Don't try and make me feel bad because I saw the puff stuff and be like, oh, I might have taken to the internet and I didn't take to the internet. Like, especially me, I'm a hair police person. I'm very.
We're not. Me too. Like, do you know what I mean? That's
not
my
having
pet peeve.
Yeah.
But like, we're not in the comments saying, "Girl," like, no one's doing that. But like, when you done your PSA, say, just listen to what I'm saying. Girls are distraction. Girl, like, honestly, that's how television works.
The thing is, though,
what am I focused on?
If she
I'm not
wants
focused on what you're saying. I'm focused on your hair.
If she wants us to listen to what she's saying only, she should go on the radio.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's true. That's always a path.
Or make her thing a thing. Wear a bonnet. Do something that's a signature style. Then we know what to expect.
Hairband, or just
always carry.
Or do you know what? Also,
put it in a puff.
Always
less leave out as well because she had too much leave out.
She had
way too much leave out.
Yeah, it was.
So maybe she's not used to.
Maybe it was unfinished. Maybe she didn't have time to actually finish it.
But whatever the case, you could do a hair job.
In some places, that is considered unprofessional.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Sade,
I'd like that story. I'd love her to have said, I was in the middle of it when I got the call. I would love that.
Yeah, because that would have been
and
real.
I just had to make a decision and go with the flow.
Yeah. And the thing is, if she was
get the
on
job
camera
done.
talking about my mum, what happened there, and her hair was like, I think people would have given you a little bit more grace because, like, yeah, we get it. There was a lot going on. So that, but you were talking to this chick about Sharpay.
Yeah,
I hear you, but I don't agree. I think
it was still with a thing, but been less.
It's a mockery because your hair is distracting us from.
Yeah, I hear it, but I think it's like at least that track's a little bit better than we're talking about Sharpay and hair.
Because her apology at least would have been in context. That was not apology. Sorry, her PSA.
Her PSA. Yes, it wasn't a.
No, it wasn't a.
But I would have
apologise.
No,
but like,
no, she doesn't need to apologise. But
why am I being shied at?
Yeah, why don't tell me off?
It just would have made sense if that was the story.
Where was your brush? Every little black girl has that flat brush. A little one that fits in the bag.
And a hairband.
And a clip.
You have a hairband.
Way too much. I'm saying it. I just think if you've got natural hair, either your leave out is literally a centimetre or just let it go.
Yeah.
Because actually, if she had natural extensions that were like her hair type, we wouldn't have known anything.
No.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes if you want to have the straight hair, just think about it. Like it's not necessary if you are still maintaining your natural hair because that will happen. Humidity, rain, sweat. It's just an unnecessary thing to go through. Like, we're not there like in the 90s when people had just found flipping extensions and stuff and you would see the man
bonding glue.
I saw Mary J. Blige the other day and she had her hair here.
Wow.
You know the crossover thing that she
Yeah.
But you can blatantly see her hair. I was just like, nah,
we've been through a journey with the wiglet.
We've been through a journey.
But just quickly on that, the Ivory Coast, the beauty pageants that said they're going to ban wigs.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I love that for them. I absolutely love that for them.
down.
Ban wigs, ban bleaching cream, all of that.
All that shit.
So it's like you have to be natural. This is your natural beauty to do. I think that's how beauty pageants should be.
Especially, I feel like
but
black
to be
ones.
fair, why are we even doing beauty pageants? Really?
That part.
There's that. But if you want to do it, I would at least, the black countries, at least have embracing who we, on all naturals, just to redress the mindset a bit.
Yeah.
Especially black ones.
I like that.
Let's not go too far though. Let's not go too far though. Let's not make it that you're natural and you don't wash and you don't cream your skin and you don't cream your skin. No. You're just coming out ashy. Let's not go too far.
Put your makeup on
because there's natural and there's natural.
No. And like green armpit. No.
That's what I mean. Like, let's not go too far.
That is one I'm
not interested in that. I still see a shocking armpit. When I see a woman with an armpit hair, I'm like, ooh.
No.
But in the Caribbean, it's like there's bits, man.
Yeah. But this is what they say. They say we've been indoctrinated.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. But that one, it's in deep.
Yeah. I can't. I don't. It just. Even when
they got us hating our hair.
Okay.
What hair?
All hair.
I hate the hair on my head.
All of it everywhere. The whole body.
It can go.
Hair under our armpit, pubic
on our legs.
Start moving.
Do you want
arms hair? Why
I don't touch my arms hair.
The hair that grows out of us. That just comes natural. Why do we have to shave it off?
Free yourself.
Free yourself.
Go and free yourself.
Lead us.
I try. So if I've got like nothing, through the winter, the armpits grown. But then I always think about it when I'm going to the gym. There's like a whole bunch of vest tops I won't wear.
Okay.
Because of the...
And then if I'm like, I really want to wear my vest top, then suddenly I'm shaving my armpits just to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really annoying. But it's I'm like,
Because
no, I can't.
I can't lie.
don't like
Sometimes
it.
I let the pits grow.
Yes.
No one ain't see, no one ain't seeing nothing, and it's especially in the winter.
Yeah.
Because I'm covered up. So
No,
I'm
I
with
don't
you there.
because it gets hot under there.
What with
But the hair is there to soak
I
it
also
up.
the minute I get a little bit of bristle, it's gone.
It's gone.
I mean, like,
It
you
has
know,
to.
good. Like,
I don't grow a lot of hair, to be fair. I don't have a lot of hair on my
This-
arms or
Me
my
neither.
legs.
this is why I can chat
Yeah.
this shit.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you don't grow a lot of hair either.
Oh yeah, but snap. Yeah, I don't really. How often do you shave your legs?
Once a year, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, me too.
If
Maybe
that.
twice.
I don't really.
I've got,
have
I've
to
got
do it.
hairy legs.
Mhm.
I've got
I
hairy
don't
legs.
have
I'm
hairy legs.
ashamed.
I don't have
God
hairy
made
arms.
us like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but made us.
You've been asked this.
That made us. Not everyone's
Not
like
everyone's
that.
like that.
Some people, they're heavy girls.
You see, Egypt.
They have that for a reason.
My daughter cannot
For
wait
what?
till I allow her to shave.
Oh, seriously?
She is like with the shaver in her hand on bated breath, dying. I'm like, you got your dad's hairy legs. Sorry,
Oh, babe.
dread for you.
I'm hairy. It's
We don't
never.
know what that does. Why are we shaving?
No,
Why?
because we
Oh,
used to
be
live
quiet.
in the jungle.
Yeah, in the jungle.
But
You ain't got it. But women and not men. What you know? What? Why have we got to be here?
But also, to
Yeah,
be
that
fair,
part, though.
I have
True.
do not like
But I am in
a
the
man
so.
who's got someone in a headlock either underneath their arm.
I know men that
But
shave.
they
don't
just
like that.
do that all
But
the
I know
time.
guys that actually do take
I
it
know
down a
men
bit,
that shave
and also
everything.
they're down below the regions. I've also had conversations with guys. Let's not have it looking like Billboy Jack or whatever the name
Anyway.
is. Bushwick Bill. I don't know.
I
Bushwick
know
Bill.
men that shave everything,
Yeah, take it
including
down.
there to make it a bit bigger.
Yeah, there's also that. But let's get rid of the bush.
But they don't get it like how women do.
They don't get it how women do.
Yeah.
But yeah. They
Yeah, it's like
make it look bigger.
It's like 2 centimeters more if you
Yeah.
take off your hair. Sometimes you gotta.
No, wait.
At a guy that is wanting more length. That is actually out of order. That's very, very
That's
rude.
really size.
Very
sensitive,
rude.
eh?
I never said they had a small. I just said
They make it look bigger.
it makes it look
Make it look big. It's not big, is it?
No, there could be a narcissist and be like, no,
That's
it's
true.
so big. I need
I don't
to
think
see all
that's
the
true.
glory.
Yeah, like they might
I
just want to
don't,
be
let's
mandingo.
definitely shave it down, just make it look.
Wow.
Neat.
Tidy.
I learned
Just
something
neat.
new.
I don't think humans should shave.
Okay.
I'm also not going to lead the way on this. I don't think.
It's a surprise.
So, absolutely an armchair activist, but I just don't think it should happen.
Okay.
No, I mean, if we live in a world where everyone does it, but
lovely.
that's not me. Shave everything, please. Shave it all off.
Honestly, I
Let's
don't
not
wanna
have
see
it.
that Shit.
So back to Jonelle.
Be sponsored by Manscaped 2000 if you want to.
Or Nair.
Because
No.
Maybe
Mac.
they're still doing there.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, it's
Gillette.
I thought it was V or something.
Gillette
It's
or
called
V.
Oh.
And Nair.
And there, yeah,
Oh,
two
it's
different
different.
things.
Nair
It was
used to,
Imac.
V used to be Imac.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know why.
But
Imagine
Nair
Imac
is
to V.
Nair is still around.
It's such a strange.
that's very bad for us, though.
It
Yeah,
is.
Don't use those. Yeah,
It
don't
is.
use
It
those.
is.
Oh, yeah,
Very
yeah.
much so.
Very bad.
Don't do the
Lazy.
chemicals.
Yeah. Wax strips if you like the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Did we cover everything?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Some things we didn't even mean to.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rakie, for joining us today.
Well, it was lovely to
You're
join you. Thank you for
amazing.
having me.
Thank you.
And
Happy
that's
birthday, Sade. Guys, that's our show. Keep safe and enemy free. Lots of hugs and big love from your favourite auntie.
Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. One more year upon them.
What does he say?
Next year we're doing it again.